Township Clock Hall, January 12, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Start with Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we begin with roll call. Campbell. Here. Walden. Here. Eddie. Here. DeShano.
Here.
Whalen.
Yes.
Approval of agenda. I would like to make a note that this agenda has 16 items. Does that go past our resolution?
The resolution states that emergency items will be handled on a case-by-case basis, considering the current situation with FOIAs as well as the pending election. Those classified as emergency items, given the deadlines.
Okay, number 5, the appointment of clerk to FOIA coordinator. That is by township policy that the clerk is the FOIA coordinator. Charlie put that in my mailbox, I think, a couple of weeks ago.
We could stricken it, but legal said that we should put it on there. And typically we ask 3 agenda items from every trustee and hoping to promote asking amongst each other. You were the only one that had 5, so I gave you one of mine too. We were hoping to start saying, hey, what do you got for the agenda? Hey, what do you got for the agenda with the resolution? It didn't go that way. So you had gave me 5 plus the old business, and I figured it'd just be safer to put them on there because they all look pretty important. So it was my mistake.
The number 12, the code enforcement ordinance amendment. Does anybody have a copy of that?
It was delivered to everybody via email by the attorneys in reference to the problem property.
This is in reference to 170 South Carolina.
Yeah, they're actually one of the same for this discussion.
So number 13 is to do with
Citation.
and the number 14, supervisor actions. Does anybody have anything on that one?
No, it's just open for discussion.
Okay, motion to approve agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Approval of the minutes. December 17th, 2025 minutes.
Make a motion.
I noticed there was just a couple of changes. Who did the minutes?
Jamie.
Jamie? Who adjusted the draft minutes?
They were not adjusted, they were
I have
cleaned
the
up.
original from Jamie right here, and they were changed to this. I made sure I made copies after I seen the last minutes were altered.
It doesn't give any time on it that the meeting was called to order. There's a typo in there.
There's typos and extra sentences. So who did that adjustment?
That's what actually happened, that there was a...
But did you do it? Is all I'm asking. Did
They
you?
were sent to me and they needed to be posted. So yes, I need you to go after it.
Okay.
Motion to approve December 17th, 2025 minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the December 22nd meeting minutes. Who did these minutes? Were these Janie?
No, Jamie wasn't here.
Okay, who created these?
It was in conjunction, myself and the clerk. Motion to approve the December 22nd, 2025 minutes.
Second.
Okay, roll call, or no? All in favor?
Aye.
Public comment.
We have another
January
one.
6 minutes.
January 6 minutes, they were in your box.
I make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all minutes approved. Public comment. First opportunity on agenda items only.
I would just like to state that if Mr. Velasquez would like to speak at this time, I think we should allow that. He has some other meetings to get to, and he wants to introduce himself to the audience.
I'm fine with that. Is everybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Stand by the mic and that way.
All right. Thanks for making special time. I know it's going to be a busy meeting. I just came to introduce myself. I'm Chris Velasquez. I'm running for the open Senate seat. It's the special election that is February 3rd. And one of the things I'd like to see changed is take the politics out of that and the cost for all of us, because we're having to pay for it locally, and everyone had to work over the holidays to make this happen, and it was all done for political reasons. It should be on a standard May, August, November timeframe, the earliest that it can be done. That's one thing I'd advocate for. I grew up on a farm, and I put myself through school doing manufacturing and construction jobs to get an engineering degree. Corning recruited me here a little over 34 years ago to build plants. I started in Saginaw HSC, and I went from there into Midland Plant, and I spent most of my career at the corporate headquarters here in Bay County. I did retire from Dow, so I spent my last 5 years with Dow, and I was invested in a small company which we grew during the COVID because we kept our doors open, sold it, and they kept it here. We sold it to someone who would keep it here, and it's still growing with those 50-plus employees. I started another small business. I'm not a politician, so this will be my first time to be elected. My platform is the economy. It's all about jobs and keeping money in our own pockets and trying to hold Lansing in check. And the other is education. I spent a decade on the STEM Council, being an engineer, advocating for trades jobs and technical jobs. I've spent a lot of time around education, and we need good education to grow those jobs. And the third one is energy. I have a background in energy. One of those jobs I held to put myself through school was at a gas-fired power plant. Working at HSC, I know the solar industry, and one of the businesses I ran after I got my degree at Michigan State. So, go green, or go green.
Got it, go green.
You know, I'm supposed to get a fast rep. Anyway, go green, go white. And one of those businesses I led produced materials that helped in the construction of windmill blades. So they all have their place. I'm not advocating for wind and solar. I think they have to compete on their own. I'm more a fan of gas and nuclear, which is more affordable and more reliable, which we need if we're going to grow this, grow our region, grow the state. And it needs to compete on its own. So that's one of the things I'm advocating for. And lots of other opinions, but I don't want to take up too much time. Happy to leave cards behind. You know, as a candidate, we'd love to be in front of this many people. I've been knocking doors today, and we knocked a little over 100 doors. Got about 35 people, and there's that many people here, so we're excited to see you. But February 3rd, you can vote Chris Velasquez. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I have a question. Would you have a moment to just speak on any environmental policies or thoughts that you have, especially coming, you know, from the Great Lakes state, and then if you have, you know, quite a varied background in knowledge and education, how you stand, you know, environmentalists and policies and violations, and how do you foresee any issues that would come up in the position that you're elected?
Well, being an engineer, we participated a lot in designing systems that manage quality things. Coming from a chemical plant, we're extremely aware of that. I mean, we take water in from the Great Lakes, and the water we put out of the plant is actually even cleaner than water that we get in from the state. So the state's role is really just to monitor and make sure that we are all living up to those rules, and good companies and good businesses do that anyway. I do think I bring a unique thing into the legislature because there aren't enough engineers in my mind, and that's one of the skills I bring with me to the potential Senate seat.
I got one question before you head out too. I'm assuming you're running for office,
For
state,
the state
senator?
Senate, the one that's
Yeah.
open.
Quick question, how do you feel about the 2020 election? Do you think it was stolen?
That's really not in my purview to
That's
talk
all right,
about.
it's just, it's a big question for me, so I'd just like to know.
I'm running for the state Senate. It's interesting, there's like 38% that have extreme positions about the federal government. I'm running for the state. We're a sovereign state. I'm going to negotiate with 37 other senators, and then I'm going to negotiate with 110 representatives, and then I'm going to negotiate with the governor to get those bills passed.
Hey,
So
sounds good.
I bring a conservative, I am a Republican background and an engineering skill set, and I bring a community involvement. In addition to all that business, I'm a 21-year Rotarian. I've served on community foundations and others, so I'm for this region, I'm from this region, and I hope to help this region grow.
Well, thank you for answering my
Thank you.
question, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Public comment. Items on agenda. Public comment. Public comment. Okay, we're going to close public comment. Financial report.
I'm gonna do it all together. Okay, I'm sorry?
You're going to do the first part of it.
Yeah, I'll do the beginning part. Last week was my first week putting together our wonderful bill system. We spent roughly $97,000-ish bringing part of our bills up to current. I would love to have better news than that. And this week we're going to spend about another $121,000. It's just bills that I can't explain it. I don't know how to explain it. Bills that didn't get paid for one reason or another, and there's no excuse for it other than the fact that it just happened. We are working through it. We are going to get through it. Nobody's at fault. It just happened. We will get to the end of it. We will figure out what happened, and we will do our best to ensure it doesn't happen again. Bills have to be paid. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. It is what it is. We're striving our best to keep it from happening again. Having said that, while I speak with the board here, I am going to ask for a $5,000 overage on what I'm estimating as our bills for this week that I want to send out as checks to cover any bills that come in between now and the end of the week to bring us current in anything that may be outstanding. And I'll leave that up to the other members of the board.
I'll make a motion to support your
It's all
5,000.
new business.
I think there needs to be a little bit of discussion now, because I see some heads bobbing and people trying to figure out why the bills are so great.
That's correct.
So, how about, I went in the clerk's office and I picked up some papers that were sitting there and I found bills that weren't even open. Were never opened.
What was the
Yeah.
date?
Some time ago. Just like, I called Consumer Power, because our power was being turned off on the 5th of January. There were bills that just weren't paid.
When was
We
the bill pay
have-
resolution created?
We have the money, that's not the issue. It is that lapse between one and the other that made this happen, and it's been fixed. It's been fixed with those creditors, and so when people are wondering what in the world, from a clerk and a deputy to a new clerk and deputy, there was definitely a dead zone. But we have bills that went back, I mean,
August.
substantial. Substantial. Never should have happened, but it did. And if you were to look at the general ledger sheet we have in front of us, there's bills that go back. Michigan Township Association 9/2. 9/2. So, as people's heads are bobbing, we had a month where no bills were really paid. So then when you get into the next month, you have the month that they weren't paid. And now you have catch up and the new ones that show up. And that is why he's asking, because even today, several bills showed up that should just be taken care of. This meeting falls early, and they will be past due before we have another meeting.
And
So that's why the $5,000 is asked for.
And this is something else I want to point out, and I've talked with the other board members about this, something that's been hurting us, and everybody here pays their bills. When you have problems paying your bills on time, you incur these things called late fees and finance charges. They add up. And it might be 50 bucks, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, but it adds up. Think about that.
So,
In addition to that, I was made aware in early December when I was trying to get the EFTPS and the 941s taken care of, that no 941s had been filed in September or October, and the only one that was filed timely was actually the November one. So I got all those filed, and now there's adjustments that have to be made because every time they are not filed on time, we get penalties and interest. And considering the snafu earlier in the year, which caused penalties and interest to have to be paid, I would have to double check, but I think it is less than 3, if even that many, 941s that have even been filed on time up until the one in November.
Are these the ones that Deputy Clerk at the time, Greg Peterman, came into your office and gave you the passwords and access to pay those?
Yes, and I thought we were just doing Novembers, and he came in with Septembers and Octobers and Novembers. That should have, those other two should have been filed, so now we've been notified about additional penalties and interest. They want to do adjustments on those, so rather than taking the payment, there's now an adjustment process that has to be dealt with.
so that's the bigger of what has been going on.
Yeah, the bigger of what's gone on is it's no different than taking the supervisor's powers, let's took the clerk's powers away at the bill pay resolution. So
None of that happened.
It has nothing to do with whether you pay a bill on time or not.
Nothing to do with
It does.
September.
You
It was
you write
responsive
your
to
check and you pay
September.
your bill.
But motion to accept the financial report.
I didn't read the treasurer's report, yeah.
Whereas usually it
It's-
says treasurer's report.
It's in there, right here.
No, but I mean, usually it says treasurer's report.
That'd be my mess up again. Nailed it.
Any questions about the treasurer's report? You make a motion?
Motion to approve treasurer's report or financial reports.
I'll second it.
All in, roll call. Whalen,
Yes.
Shayna,
Yes.
Eddie, yes, Walde,
Yes.
and Campbell.
Yes.
Department committee reports, building report.
That will be caught up next month, and we'll get everybody in place properly.
You were working on that, weren't you, Charlie? I seen you out on the
Well, we had one that I know of that was closed out, report-wise. It was finalized and closed out. There's been several new ones put in where people are updating it. Because at the same time of all the transition of the clerk's office, the secretary is no longer with us either. So, that kind of helps you understand. I'm wearing Shirley's hat.
The
So-
front desk will be fully staffed officially on January 20th.
So, just making things, they gotta roll.
Motion to accept the building report.
We can do all of them at once if you want, all the reports together. I'm just saying.
Whatever one is it.
Does anybody want to take the rest of the supervisory duties and moderate?
Second that motion.
To take the duties?
No, for your, to accept the building report.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Fire department report.
I got a few things and then, escape. The DNR grant that we got, the 50/50 order all the equipment for that, so that's gonna be 4 new dry suits, let's update all that, and a blow-up non-motorized boat, which will be, I call it boat, it's not, we call it banana boat, but. So I ordered all that should be in, once we get that, the bills are paid, then I just need, Lori knows what I need a copy of the checks in the bank, and then I can get it in, they'll pay us our 50% back, so. Just to make the numbers easy, we're not spending 10 grand, but we're getting about 10 grand worth of stuff for 5,000 bucks, so. And the upgrade for the suits is a pretty huge deal, so we're due. Rescue 14 went in for oil change, tires rotated, it's found it's got a exhaust manifold bolt that's broke and the oil cooler lines are starting to leak, so total for both to get down to be like $1,104.43. It's not nothing that the truck's gonna be out of service like tomorrow, so, but I
Can you repeat the number again, please?
1104.43. It's like 481.69 for the manifold bolt and 622 to replace the oil cover, the oil cooler lines that are leaking. So
Is that the bill that's on my desk?
no, I don't know what goes on your desk.
All right.
I gave you the Suburban propane bill today. I went through that and checked it all. I just make sure the cards match the fuel that we pump. So.
Okay.
We're currently working with Pinconning Fraser, Mount Forest Fire Department, Gibson, and Garfield on an AFG grant, which would go towards radios. So I'm filling out paperwork right now. Dave's getting his stuff straightened around, so when the AFG grant does drop, he'll be able to put the paperwork in. Right now, if everybody stays in it, say it's going to be between $1,800 and $2,000 is all we're going to have to pay. And if we would get the grant, we'll get several $100,000 worth of radios for what it's going to cost us to go into the grant. And going in as a group is usually better. That's kind of the way they want to see it anymore. It's more regionalized. So, but nothing will happen with that until Dave gets paperwork turned in and we get things figured out. But just so you know, it's down the road there. He said around $1,800, so we'll just say $1,800 to $2,000. I have 2 training days that are going to be here on a Saturday, which won't affect anything. Just so you know, we're going to use the room for 4 hours on a couple Saturdays for some training. We're going to have to adjust, obviously the minimum wage went up, so we're going to have to adjust our probationary / trainee pay because it's not at minimum wage, so I'll have to bump that up. So we can do that on the next pay go around for, I only have one firefighter that's a trainee right now, so that's easy. He's already been paid at the other one, so I'll just switch it when it comes around. It'll be smooth. I'll just readjust all those numbers, Brian, and give them to you. That's on that piece of paper.
Sounds good.
I'll get it over
Thank
to
you.
you. Also, I asked back in December about an 800 radio about getting one, and then I had to leave, so I didn't really get an answer, so I resent it out with the price, the Kenwood radio for $46.64 and some change that they will not build. They have the ability to build that out in April when our new budget starts. So I just need the okay to be able to order that. It's 5 to 6 months to get a radio by the time they order it, and the state does their shuffling around with the template and everything else. So right now, if I order it now, it'll be January, February, March, or May. Maybe we'll see it by July. So I just need the okay to do that. And the last thing is I know we were hard on it and going to go at it, and then we switched lawyers. Where are we at with Fraser Township and the cost recovery of the $58,000 there with the fire department and the township? I see they have another current lawsuit starting, so I guess we'll have to jump on the bandwagon with it.
That was with our past law firm, I don't know where.
Well, that's why I asked if we're going to follow it. If we are, we are. If not, if you tell me we're not going to do anything with it, doesn't matter. I mean, it does. But
If you want a motion to have Trustee Whalen and DeShane speak with the lawyer, they're the only ones who do, so.
I'm just asking you as a board. I'm not getting in the middle of, I already told you guys, I'm not getting in the middle of any of the infighting. It's not my job. My job's the fire chief and take care of the township. So I'm asking you as a board, if we're going to follow up on the $58,000, if we're not, that's fine by me too. And you can explain to the residents if we run short on something in the fire department, why we subsidized another fire department for $58,000 and didn't bother to try and go get it. I'm not getting in the middle of anything. I've told you all that before, and this is the last time I'll tell you. The next time I get put in the middle of it, you can find another fire chief. Plain and simple. That's all I have.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Does anybody want
Was
to?
that not discussed with the lawyer, my understanding?
Then we did it, well,
It was discussed with Foster Swift, but we never received any kind of an update of the status of that after we had approved going forward with it.
so who would follow up with that?
Want to check on it? Pearson?
Excuse me?
Anyone follow the checkup on it? Case?
No.
Well, that's what we're saying. We approved it to go
I'm trying
to
to
the
understand.
attorney and never had any kind of
Yeah,
an
I'm in the
update
area.
on any of these conversations or what was
So-
happening.
So, can we entertain a motion to follow up with it?
Do you have emails from Foster Swift when that was discussed, or any other communications
yeah.
you could share? Okay, well, the rest of the board never got them, so that was kind of the whole point. Nobody can answer
So
the
just
chief's
request
question
them.
if we are not being communicated
I
with.
think it was actually with you. That's
I
who
believe there
Foster
was,
Swift.
there was one email with a question,
That's the
that's all
only
I
one.
saw.
Point of order.
It's the only one there is.
So, we will follow up.
So I make a motion that the lawyer that we currently have be contacted, that a $58,000 bill to Fraser Township be turned over, and this be resolved.
I will second.
Can we, we're still technically in reports, can we add that on to the call on number 6? Add that as an additional piece on the call on number 6 that's already up for approval.
There you go. So, then we need to make a motion to modify the agenda.
No, I think we can add it
We
as a
have to.
secondary. We're kind of late for that. I think we can add it as a secondary part of that motion.
So number 6,
Yeah.
Fraser bill.
Can we just modify the agenda as we go then?
No, guys, I think this is where we get in trouble. We can put it on the next agenda. It isn't, we did approve it once as a board,
Okay, planning
and we
commission.
dropped the ball. So planning commission report. They canceled their meeting, I was told.
There is no report. They don't
Yeah.
have a meeting.
Okay, sheriff's report. I did not receive a sheriff's report this month. Did anybody else?
I think,
It came in,
yeah, Charlie, you had it. Did you put it in? Do you know that?
right in the box.
Usually comes to me.
Came in, got stamped received, then it went in the box.
Okay, motion to accept all reports.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, old business, Zach Kennedy, 835 South Mackinac, building and drainage correction cost.
I remember this name coming through. I believe they ended up going to ZBA, correct?
That's correct, Brian was on the board at the time. Steve
Still in.
Gray was the zoning administrator.
Okay, so how exactly did we get here?
We had a call from Mike Rivard that there was a building going up next to a county drain, which there was already a building next to the county drain in the exact same spot. And then it turned into a tear the barn down. The property owner did not want to tear the barn down because it was already framed, all the posts. And then it got into the possible options with Eagle. Jay Guston, the building inspector, wanted to fight the drain commissioner 110%. So he got with some people through, I think you see the emails from Jay with Brian in the city of Saginaw, some contacts they had where this Troy Freed agreed that this drain was dry all the time. They totally felt like the drain was not used. Charlie also spoke of there never being water in the drain. Zach said in all the years he's lived there, there's never been water in the drain. Andy Rivard, who's lived there, let's say 26 years, said there's never been water in the drain.
His family said they haven't had water in the drain in 30 years.
So it ended up,
Right.
they had to go through the Eagle permitting process
Yeah.
and to put a culvert in there that went 20 feet past both ends of the barn. And speaking with Brian Whalen about it. You know, we understood where there were wrongs on our part, because Zach did ask us what other permits were needed, if there was anything needed. He was very due diligent, and it was an after-the-fact moment that we found out that that was a county drain. So when it came down to it, we got the road commission, meaning I got Chad DeZerka to haul in the fill dirt. That brought about $3,000 worth of fill dirt for free in to cover the drain. And you guys have sufficient coverage. So something that would have been around $10,000 ended up being $6,798.41. And he has this itemized. This held up their building project for many, many months. They actually received storm damage in that bad windstorm we had. But they did not want to change the location of their barn, so Nick Sherwinski from Spicer came out there voluntarily, and he agreed that we should just have Zach go through the process. Mike Homier, our awesome attorney at the time, said the same thing. He said, listen, let him incur the cost, and at the end, he should be able to come forward with the damages he received and bring it to the board, and the board can decide what to do with it at that point. So other than that, we're going to pay a lot in litigation. And Jacqueline did not want that. They just wanted help and aid in this process, correct?
Correct.
And so that's where, and they did get the drain culvert at cost by the county road commission, or the Bay County Drain Commission, correct? Correct. They gave everything for cost. Everything was done as inexpensively as possible to keep their building in the position it was.
I did get a quote from the Amish to move the building, it was $10,800 estimate.
I'd make a motion that,
Hold on, when did you guys go through ZBA, what month?
It was May 1st.
May 1st?
Yes.
Sorry, Charlie, I just wanted to ask that.
I make a motion to pay the $6,798.41, and that means there'll be no litigation, correct?
Correct.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Walde,
Absolutely.
DeShano,
Yes.
Whalen,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eddie, yes.
Thank you, guys. Sorry about that.
Enjoy your new building, it looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Zoning administrator hiring, there was only 2 applicants. We have Jeremy Bloom applied and Rochelle Yammer. Did I pronounce that right?
Jammer.
Jammer,
Yeah.
Rochelle Jammer. We've been without a zoning administrator for a month and a half. And we need one. Can I ask both of you guys a question? What makes you want to be the zoning administrator for downtown?
Well, I currently, I'm a director of HR for a company downtown, Bay City, and I manage about 9 commercial properties and 27 rentals, and work closely with City of Bay City with their code compliance, and I'm a Collin Township resident. Want to keep things a little more local, looking for a career change. I just started attending the meetings, and I'm very intrigued on what's going on with the township. Bring a lot of experience, and I think the township could use a new face.
Has anybody got questions?
You said you recently started attending the meetings?
Yes.
You mean watching them? Or-
Yep, I attended one so far, and then watching them
I
online.
just don't recognize you,
Yeah.
so I was curious.
You were at the clerk.
Yeah, the clerk one, and then it got a little messy, and then I escorted myself out, yes.
Okay. Have you actually reviewed our zoning ordinances or zoning book at this point?
Yes, some of it, yes.
We're in the middle of talking.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Have you had any thoughts as far as what you see in your zoning book as it sits?
What do you mean as in thoughts?
I mean, did it seem sensible to you? Did it make sense? Because I know we've heard some things from previous zoning administrators about the difficulty of interpretation, and so I'm curious what you thought.
I don't know how to really answer that, Lori. Yeah.
Yeah, I just, just in talking with the last two zoning administrators, they both made that comment, so I was curious
Yeah.
what your thoughts were. on it.
They both said that the ordinance contradicts itself in many, many, many ways. I think even the boards say that, so a question like that is really contradicting itself also.
Sorry.
So Jeremy Bloom, what would make you want to be the...
That's how you stole my answer to that question. Thank you. Jeremy Bloom, lifetime resident, Puckham Township, firefighter. Back then it was an EMT for the township full-time. Currently work for the state of Michigan for the Michigan Department of Transportation. Been there 6 years. Been involved in township board meetings since 1999 when I was on the fire department. I was originally then a position that was called the liaison between the fire department and the township boards. The chief was not a full-time chief at that time, so that's how Steve's report that he gave tonight was given, and if we as firefighters need to ask anything. As far as you stole the whole thing about the zoning, it contradicts itself. I am on the planning commission, recently appointed to the planning commission. There is a lot of work to be done with our firm, and hopefully get that stuff straightened out in the near future. So,
If you were to be on the zoning, be hired as a zoning administrator, you would be off of the planning commission.
okay.
So the zoning administrator hours, you just said that you work for the Department of Transportation. What would you be able to?
Well, typically winter, so the way my hours work, winter hours, I work 6 to 2:30 for MDOT. Would be available after that. Depending on where the salary falls and what everything else falls, could look at leaving MDOT possibly, but I don't think our salary is going to meet that here for zoning administrator. Like everybody else, carry a cell phone. I would imagine most contractors would like to either mornings or tail end of the day, depending on what's needed. I think non-traditional hours for a zoning administrator, meeting with residents and stuff like that, because residents work 9 to 5, to be available after those hours to them would be helpful to grow a bond between our residents and our township officials.
And the same question for you, Rochelle. What was your availability?
With my position that I currently have, I do have the option to work from home and be hybrid and do multiple positions.
Questions from the board?
No, for the board pertaining this though, we got one perfect example of whoops for $6,000 here, and we got another perfect example of a whoops coming shortly. I've been shopping. I had to go a little bit further than I hoped. It's a little north of Detroit, for a zoning company, a company that charges you for one of their services. They send out an official. They will have a phone you call. They will have insurance and liability if something goes wrong. And they know zoning, planning, and everything else. So it would be a one-stop shop. And from the 2 experiences we've had, I didn't have a problem until there was a problem. And I think, to be safe,